Hello, welcome back to another video. We're headed back up to the yard, not to the yard, to some recycling plant. I have a 20-foot box on me that I ended up picking up. It was a whole clusterfuck this morning down here. Took me about an hour, an hour and a half to just get an empty put on me. Has been a exciting morning. Well, yeah, we're headed up there. We're gonna drop this off. Um, we might have a load. Not might. We definitely have a load coming back down. Hopefully, they don't run anything from me up in Richmond. Well, yeah, it's a rainy day. It's a rainy day today. It's not. It's not all that. It's kind of a heavy day too. On top of it, I already recorded this video too. I recorded it yesterday, but I didn't like how it came out. I didn't like the topics that I was talking about. So I ended up deleting the video. I put it up, deleted it. Uh, so this is like a redo, I guess. Probably a better redo. But we're not going back up 664. There's a tunnel that goes underwater that I mentioned before on here. It Any small accident or wreck or anything like that, it's a backup beyond all belief. There's like a 4 mile backup. The tunnel's blocked. Nobody's moving. Thank God I noticed it. I run my GPS over my phone. Normally, I don't. Thankfully, today I did, or else I would have. Yeah, it would have been a worse day. I mean, this is standard for a Monday anyway. I'm not really surprised anymore. I was expecting a shit show, to be honest. But yeah, one thing that I wanted to talk about too, or get it out of my head. Yeah, I was out for about 2.5 weeks. That's why, for the people that care or that watch, that's why there hasn't been a video. But yeah, I ended up breaking down 2.5 weeks ago. I was running a load back down in Norfolk. I hooked up to it. Everything was fine. It was my second one for the day. It was fine. I get going. My RPM start going through the roof in 10th gear. Where they're normally supposed to hover around 15,000 to 16,000 revolutions a minute. Mine were at about 18 to 20,000, which I knew it wasn't a good thing. I didn't realize what the issue was, but I knew there's something going on here. Like, this is not good. Um, I end up pulling off to the side. Maybe I got about 20 miles away from my yard. I pull off onto the side. I give our in-house mechanic a call. I talk to him. I let him know what's going on. He's like, "Yeah, buddy, that sounds like you got a pretty bad transmission issue." I'm like, "Okay, all right. I'm not gonna take your word for it, but all right." So I end up calling the dealership, Volvo. I talked to them. I let them know the nitty gritty, what's happening, and they end up saying the same thing. Your transmission sounds like it shit the bed, and by the looks of it, it's on its last leg. Like, I was still going, but I was like barely. I had no power, no nothing. It was going, but barely. Uh, and I should have known too. I mean, I did know that I had a pretty serious transmission issue. Come to find out now that I also had a massive issue with my synchronizer as well. So whenever I would like put my splitter down or up, every now and again, you'll get this massive grinding noise coming out of the transmission itself. And yeah, I glided right over it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're all right. There's nothing going on here." And yeah, that continued happening, and then not only that, like, the shifting got worse too over time, where I'll be grinding trying to go into first gear, or I mean third gear, and it would get stuck in gear too, where I would try to upshift, and it'll jerk the whole truck. It won't let me take it out of gear. But yeah, I ended up taking it in. It ended up taking them, surprisingly. They knocked it out pretty quick, but it took forever for them to get to it. It took about 10 days when I dropped it off for them to actually even touch it and like call me and let me know, like, for sure, all right, yeah, this is what's going on, blah, 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 you know? Let me go back over there. But yeah, they finally got to it. They called me. They gave me an estimate. They were talking to me about the transmission at first. They were asking me like, "Is this the original transmission?" Because my truck has 1.3 million miles, and I'm like, "No, not the original. This used to be an automatic." And the guy that owned it before me, for some reason, ended up switching it to a manual. They didn't do a good job. Let's put it that way. From what they ended up telling me, probably an old ass transmission that they put in. Other issue is it has a transmission cooler on there that, what is this guy doing? That they never installed. They ended up bypassing the transmission cooler and rested the lines on top of the actual transmission itself. Also, really not good. Really not good. So, like their initial estimate that they gave me was like 7,800, like 8 grand, pretty much. Uh, but you hear me mentioning this oil cooler that I didn't know about. I thought it was normal for like this year truck not to have one. Come to find out, no, it's not normal. It needs one. So the price ended up going up when I went to go pick up the truck. Uh, they finished it up Friday of last week. Yeah, I go to pick it up, and they pull out the invoice. A good $9,000 for a remanufactured transmission, new clutch, oil cooler, transmission oil cooler, um, and a bunch of the other like fucking knickknacks and all that. But yeah, $9,000 bill. Uh, but I got a new transmission, and it runs like a dream. So hopefully nothing else goes wrong on this damn thing. Jeez, man, the amount of money that I put into this truck is, I mean, it's sad. It's sad. I could have bought a pretty decent new used truck at this point, but it's all good. I'm gonna keep this baby running until she fully dies off. At this point, the only other thing that could really go wrong, and I hope it doesn't, is is the engine giving out. Um, like I don't know if this engine was if a out in frame was done on it, out of frame was done on it. Uh, I would assume it was. I mean, with 1.3 million miles, but I bought it with 1.2. So I'm hoping it was done. I mean, how good it runs, I'm assuming it was. Even on top of that, I ended up doing, I did an EGR delete on this, or a full EGR delete. I bought it with a partial EGR delete. They ended up like, there's that little computer on the side to like trick my computer and not to like throw codes. But the actual EGR system was still there. It was bypassed, but still there. So like when you open the hood, it looks like I have the whole EGR system, but it wasn't there. Uh, and I ended up, I'm not going to mention the shop that I had it done at, but I paid, I think, 150 bucks, 170 bucks. And they ended up completely deleting the rest of the EGR system. And yeah, now we're rocking and rolling. Um, did that. I got a bigger turbo on here too. I'm making a little bit more power. Overall, like I said, everything outside of the engine was completely done. Around the engine, everything on the frame pretty much was done. Only, like I said, only thing that can go wrong is the damn engine, and I hope it doesn't, because I don't want to spend 30 grand rebuilding the engine. Um, so yeah, let's hope it don't go bad. Let's hope. But yeah, now we're on. That was 58. We're back. So we went off 58 onto 460, and we're gonna truck on back going up this road. up to 95. No, 895. No, 295 to 895. Um, is a little bit easier this way. Right now, I would assume 64 is probably a shit show at this point. So we're gonna go this way. And apart from that, 664, the accident that I was telling y'all about. So, and this way is a little bit more scenic too, I guess. The speed limit's down here vary too. It goes from 45 all the way up to 60. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but it's kind of nice too. You get to avoid that whole clusterfuck up there. But I get to bring y'all along. Y'all get to enjoy the ride with me. Yeah. Not only that, I am starving right now. I could definitely go for some food. I could definitely. That dude was eyeballing me. Fucking truck driver. Yo, man, we just out here trucking, dude. We just trucking. Fucking loving it, man. Fucking loving it. Yeah, there's a subject that like I find fascinating to talk about is people with like really deeply ingrained beliefs. I know, weird that I'm like bringing that up. It just crossed my mind. Is I don't quite understand how deeply people like back an opinion or a subject or blah blah blah. I'm of the mindset of like I'm very open to differing opinions, right? If if it makes sense to me, if you like what you're telling me makes sense logically, I'll change my opinion. Most definitely. I don't have like a solidified opinion on a lot of things. I'm very malleable when it comes to my own beliefs and opinions. Uh, I wouldn't say like regarding religion. You know, I'm definitely not one of those where I don't believe. I'm not one of those people. That's probably where like where I'm solidified in that belief. Um, but yeah, other subjects, like political views, so on and so forth. I mean, I find myself agreeing with both sides a lot. Um, both sides have a lot to offer, but on top of that, at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about you or me. They don't care. They don't care at all. Uh, they're lining their pockets while me and you are doing this shit, working, killing ourselves. They're over there making a killing, doing nothing, talking, talking. And what I'm seeing a lot more of too is like there's no union anymore. People aren't together. These politics today are separating people more and more. Uh, and I'm not just going to say the Republican Party. I'm going to say the Democratic Party as well. Is on both ends. Hey, I need to hate you because you're a Democrat and I'm a Republican, or I need to hate you because I'm a I'm a Republican and you're a Democrat. It's just the dumbest thing. Why should I dislike somebody for who they voted for? That's their belief, opinion, political standpoint. Again, I'm not gonna dislike you for that fact. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm gonna look at you as a person. Uh, your political view is not your character, I guess. I mean, some people make it their character. Don't get me wrong. They make it their whole identity, whatever they are, Democrat, Republican, liberal, whatever the hell. At the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. It does not matter. We're all fucked. Not to be pessimistic. Normally, I don't come from a pessimistic point of view, but it does not matter. It really doesn't. I think we try to occupy ourselves with so much of this BS that we forget who we are and what that our time here is finite. We're arguing over simplicities that really do not make any sense to be arguing over at all. We should be having a good time for a long time. No, stop. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. We're all people at the end of the day. We all want to live a good life. Don't get me wrong, we got other people that don't want to live a good life, but hey, let them do their thing. Who cares? It's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me that people get so engulfed in these ideas. Like, bro, there's more to life than just political opinions and political beliefs and arguing and blah blah blah. Let's have a good time, man. Even on my end, there's a guy that we know. He at one point it was all political. Every conversation it was political, and I mean, similar to how some religious people are, where they try to shove their faith down your throat. Uh, same viewpoint with political opinions. Hey, believe in what I'm telling you about this political party. They are the best. I don't care, my dude. I don't. Do you know why I don't care? Because they do not care about me. Here, let me backtrack. There are ones that like really look out and look to help other people. Don't get me wrong. But overall, vast majority, me and you were fucking ants compared to the bigger picture. We are fucking ants. We don't mean nothing to them. We do not mean nothing to them. So care for your loved ones, care for the ones that are around you. That's all you need. That's all you need. Fuck these political parties. Not to sound like an anarchist over here. Um, yeah, it's on my end coming from a country that's very uh, fuck. What's the word? A nationalistic. Yeah, nationalistic. They're all so the Balkans in general are very nationalistic. They they push propaganda about their own countries. Oh, we are the best. We are awesome. You cannot say anything else. And that, I mean, this goes for Serbia, Bosnia, uh, Croatia, and so on and so forth. All the Balkans are pretty much like that. Uh, just very. It ends up pitting the population against each other. It brings out hatred between these what's the word, small portions of the population or big portions like Bosnia, mainly Muslim. We have a pretty vast Serbian population too, but there's a political divide mainly because the TV and the politicians are just pitting one against each other. At the end of the day, we're all broke. Why are we listening to these politicians? Let them argue. Let them fucking fight. We're people. We're fucking people at the end of the day. Just done. I think people are just. We could be horrible sometimes. Even when we talk about seeking out peace, we look for violence. Maybe like to an extent, some form of addiction to violence. And mind you, I'm not just talking about the Balkans, and just in general, I think people are addicted to anger, to violence. Uh, yeah, I think that might be the case. I think that might be the case. But overall, fuck all that shit. Love one another. Stop fucking doing all that dumb shit. But yeah, here, shit, 20 minutes. All right. I will see y'all later. Till next time, guys.